Hello, hello, hello. It's Dr. Meredith J. Watson, business doctor, MacBoss business doctor, light working business, and life mentor. I help my clients create a life that they love and love the life they live with ease, grace, finesse, and tenacity by dissecting their inner badass, really delving deep into who they are, rising above the ashes that consume them, finding the light at the end of the tunnel so they can create the transformation in the world that only they can bring. Super excited to be here. I wanted to talk about a different 80-20 rule. Sorry, sometimes my earphones don't work the way I want them to. The first thing to understand is when you're delving into an issue or obstacle that you have to overcome, it's best to consider that you don't necessarily need to understand the cause of the problem in order to solve it. It might help in not falling into the same pitfall again, but really the focus should be not necessarily if I only knew why this happened, if I only knew why this was occurring, which is typically the first question that we ask ourselves when we're faced with a difficulty. But knowing why doesn't necessarily change anything. The solution to the problem lies not behind you, but in front of you. And you shouldn't really be spending your time and energy trying to figure out why. It's more important that you use your time and energy to focus on the solution. And that was something that took me a really long time to figure out. I'm fresh out of a 2-year storm where I had to really rebuild my life, rebuild everything I knew to be solid wasn't. So I had to really think about what this means for me as I go forward, as I build my business, as I continue with my life. I have a 5-year-old daughter that I homeschool. She's why I started my business. I sat on the sofa knowing that I didn't want to put her in daycare. I wanted to be there for every single moment and not miss anything. First steps, first words. I homeschool her, so I didn't want to miss any of the light bulb moments she would encounter as she learned each new task and ability as she went through the different grades and different subjects. I wanted to be there for all of that. And I taught school for 8 years, been a principal for 2, so I kind of had the idea of what that would be like, and I didn't want to miss it. I didn't want to be teaching other people's children while missing out on my own child's milestones. So I created a business that would allow me to be home with her, create impact, create income, revenue, and brought me joy where I could light up the world in a way that only I could and transform the world in a revolutionary way, in a way that only I could. I always worry if I'm on mute. And more of your time should be spent on, 80% of your time should be spent on the resolution. 20% maybe you want to focus on the problem, where it came from, originated, but 80% of your time should be spent on the resolution. I'm a resolution-oriented person. I have been a mediator for over 20 years. And it allows me to use that philosophy as my life's work. Not only do I coach, I also mediate. But in a way, mediating and coaching is almost the same thing. You're the mediator between where people want to be and where they want to go and how to get them there with ease and grace. So focusing more on the resolution is often where I find that I get the most energy and the most gratitude and gratification and the most done. In all honesty, I believe that you can use your pain and your situation as a catalyst for change or as a reason to stay stuck. But the opportunity to grow and evolve and rise above the ashes is a chance that you should take and utilize with everything you've got. So I'm an advocate of actually being a part of the resolution. And I believe that there's a resolution to almost everything, if not everything. So focusing more on finding yourself, delving deep and rising above the ashes that try to consume you to find a resolution. And I'll give you the example. 2 years of hell for me. I lost people that I loved, had to rebuild my business, had to rebuild my life. Everything I thought was steady and secure was ripped from me as if a storm. And I had to evacuate from my home. We're in the middle of that family of hurricanes. And it was very difficult for me to find my way. It was very difficult for me to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Eventually I did. It took me a while, but I did, through meditation, polarity, spiritual practices, getting the mentoring I needed, the coaching, the counseling, and the things that I needed to get me through that hurdle. But it was a big deal. I wanted to know why it was happening to me. Why me? I'd been the good girl. I'd done things right. I followed the rules. Why was this my lot in life? Why was this happening to me? Took me a long time to figure out that it didn't really matter why. It was more about what am I going to do? And how am I going to fix it? And how am I going to grow? And how am I going to evolve? And how am I going to use this as a catalyst for change? And how am I going to move forward and not let this consume me? And even the whys, I'm sitting here thinking, it never really occurred to me why, although it did occur to me that what I could do, how I could utilize the pain and the struggle and the fire that consumed me, and rising above that, what it could do. The resolution was to allow it to let me grow and evolve and change and own myself. You see, I sat in a box for almost 40 years that other people created and forgot to leave air holes. I was suffocating. I'm a recovering people-pleasing doormat. I had to learn what I love, what makes me happy, what lights me up. And I found that what lights me up is personal growth and development, digital products, helping people rise above the ashes that consume them, my radio show, working one-to-one and in a group hybrid with my clients, creating actionable steps to get me from A to Z with ease, grace, finesse, and tenacity. Through the pain, through the struggle, through the 80-20, where I focus 80% on the resolution and 20% on the why, I was able to delve deep, and I offer that option to others to find themselves, to own their truth, to build a life and business of their dreams. And I utilize that ability and that transformation through a manual that I created, Build Your Life, Build Your Biz. And then I wrote 2 complimentary books, Unmask and the MACSJC Investment Guide. And in those, you'll find ways to use spiritual practices and find your truth and learn who you truly are at the core, recover from the things that have caused you to maybe stay stuck, and to move forward with ease and grace and finesse and tenacity. And that's important, that you find your soul's purpose, that you find what you came here to do. I came here to heal, help people through their struggles with ease, because it can seem so difficult when you're going through it, but you can get through it, and you can come out on the other side. In the book Unmasked, we talk about tips and tricks to grow your life and business with simple, easy to follow, step-by-step products, step-by-step, I guess the best way, quotations and life hacks and little tips and tricks along the way that kind of smooth the blow. One of the things that I found that has given me the most energy to get through the storm is finding an anchor, something to hold on to when you're in the middle of the proverbial sea, cold, scared, and alone. And that has helped ground me so that I can move forward. Because it's easy to think you're out there alone. It's easy to think that you have nothing to hold on to. But when you find that anchor, whatever it is for you, it gives you strength to go forward. I have a daughter that looks up to me. And it's incredibly important that I maintain a strong face for her, even though I do let her know that sometimes things don't go your way. And sometimes you just have to stand still and look and figure out where you're going to go next. You're at a crossroad, figure out where you're going to go next. And of course, in the MACSJC Investment Guide, it's about finding another stream of income. Wealth is important. Having money is important. It's a tool. It's an energy. Having an energetic exchange for your expertise and someone else's need for that expertise, there's nothing wrong with that. I grew up believing that money is the root of all evil. Loving money is wrong. Money is a tool that people use to control other people. Money is energy. Law of circulation, law of prosperity and abundance. You have to believe that it's yours to have. And the Wealth Guide, Investment Guide, shows you another way to start out small with investing and move up with that, and being able to create another stream of income, create wealth. And I can assure you, people say that money isn't everything, but it's sure a lot of fun. It's more fun. It's less painful to cry in a Mercedes than to cry in a Pinto. And money, for one, is not money for all. Some people just want enough to survive and maybe put a few dollars away for a rainy day. Other people want to be able to travel. Others want to have a a location freedom lifestyle. Other people want to spoil their kids. I like being able to take my daughter on field trips, take her all over the world, go on northeast and eastern excursions, take her to all the aquariums, take her on things and excursions and trips, and have experiences that she would normally have, tap and dance and martial arts, and be able to treat myself, check things off on my dream board. And there's nothing wrong with using money as a tool to get the things that you want and you need, and to spoil the ones you love. Anything can be used for bad. You can use a knife to cut your food or to cut someone's throat, but it's all about what you do with it. I hope this makes sense. I hope that you know that you can get through anything with ease and grace if you find the right tools, tips, and tricks, and mentor, coach to help you along the way. And the purpose of having a coach, I found, is to have a cheerleader in your back pocket who's there to support you and love you and help you see things from a different perspective that you may not otherwise have seen. And to kind of point things out and look at an aerial view with a neutral eye, but a loving eye to help you catapult your life and business in a direction that you want. If that's something that sounds like something you'd enjoy doing, reach out to me for a soul goal session. We'll sit down, look at your life and business, take an aerial view, and discuss where the next logical step would be and if working together is the next logical option. I wish you love and light. I hope you have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, and I'll see you on the other side. Have a great one.